Okay, so this is a walkthrough of the back end of your website, satxhomesbyles.com. First thing I want to draw your attention to is a lot of times when people log into WordPress, they feel a little bit overwhelmed because there's a lot to learn and there's a lot to know. So one way that I've tried to quell that concern for you is installing a plugin called Sidekick. So anytime you want to know how to do something in WordPress, all you have to do is click this button for help, and it will take you through a voice guided tutorial where it will walk you through every single step about putting in users, website settings, post pages, visual editors, media library, customizing your menu, and all of that good stuff. So there's a lot of really good information in there that will help take the learning curve down a couple notches for WordPress. So with that said, I'm going to walk you through each section of what we've programmed in on the back end and, just kind of give you an overview of each one of those things. One thing that I did was I put in an analytics counter for you. And this is really going to help you decipher where your traffic is coming from, who your audience is, and what's important with that. Now, this is the free version. It's up to you on whether or not you want to get the pro version or not. But what you have to do with this is make sure you're logged in to your Google account, and then you're going to connect your analytics services to this website so that you can monitor your analytics and go in and check out your traffic. As I've always said, you want to do that at least every 30 days. Then this will also give you, when you click on visitors overview, once you've connected these accounts, your visitor overview, it will give you demographics, location, information, all of the things that you really need to know. Your control center for WordPress is in your dashboard. So when you click on dashboard, I've kept this very simplistic for you, but there's things you can add to this if you want. This will show you at a glance. This just goes over your site. You've got 2 posts and 9 pages, and it tells you which theme you're running, which is East End. Post with focus keywords. This is your SEO. So you've got different focus keywords, and it will grade you on everything that you post on your site, which is really, really helpful. If you want to do a quick draft of a blog, you can do that right here. And then it will go into your drafts folder, which I'll show you in just a second. Then you can have your WordPress news as well, just kind of letting you know what's going on in the world of WordPress. And then activity, it's going to say what's recently happened on your site. Now, as you get more visitors, it's going to show you subscribers to your site and subscribers to your blog and who's commenting on things and things of that nature. So this will pick up over time. So if we go into updates, again, because your dashboard is your control center, it's going to tell you what needs to be updated on your site. So it tells you right now you have the latest version of WordPress, and then it's going to tell you which plugins need to be updated from time to time. And I'll get a little bit more in depth in plugins in just a second. So posts, this is where you're going to go in and post a blog. Your posts essentially are going to be I've already done, and I've kind of gone on this on the front end, where I put in the mortgage calculator and the affordability calculator for you. If you want to add a new post, it's very simple. All you have to do is click Add New. This is your adding post page. Now there's a lot of really cool features in this, so I wanted to draw your attention to this really fast. So you can add a new post. This is where you would put your title. You can add media. This would be photos or videos that you want to add to your site. Put in a form. We've built you several already. Add in a Google map. Put in your online scheduling form as well. And then I also have some different things that are specific to your needs in here: schools and Yelp, mortgage and financial tools, Google Maps, market stats from both Altos and Trulia. So you can actually create new content with the click of a button because I've already got it programmed in there for you. This is where you could insert additional displays listings. Your read more tag. This gives you the full toolbar. So this is going to be similar to what you see in like Microsoft Word or something like that. Your mango buttons, that's what we use to create your call outs, and I'll show you that in a second. And then we've also created different aggregators for you, and I'll show you how that works in a second, to where you can go in and again push button create content if you don't have time to do it yourself. I've also put in an opt-in form for you, and there's a little bit of work you have to do on that, but I'll go over that in just a second. Over here, you're going to have different categories. So whenever you're putting in a new blog or a new post, you're going to want to select both a category and a tag. Category is going to be the overall overview of whatever it is you're posting. Tag would be a little bit more in depth. So for example, if you wanted to do some content and, put in the Altos market stats for the month of October, what I would recommend is put October, San Antonio October market stats, for example. Then you would have this here where you're just clicking on where you want the stats to go. So all you have to do is put in the city, the state, zip code. You can do time span, 30 days, 60 days, whatever you want, and then select the size of the chart. So you could go large or small. I would suggest going large if you're going to create a post. And then you can choose the different axis. So similar to what I put on your home selling page, just play with it as you want to, but it will give you different data, and you can put several of these, in a row to go over several different bits of data that you can send out to all the subscribers to your blog. Put in an email is something, to utilize on social media. But if you wanted to do that, you would put in, San Antonio. This is what I would do. San Antonio real estate, October market stats, okay? And then you put in your charts down here. And then what you would do is category for this would be market statistics. So you would put in a new category, market statistics, and then you just click add. And then your tags would be San Antonio real estate, these types of things. So, just think of a category kind of as the parent, and then the tags are the child. So you would have a parent that is kind of an all-encompassing focus of whatever it is you're posting, and then the tag would be a little bit more specific. Down here, your Yoast SEO, remember how I pointed out that you have that functionality on your site? Your Yoast SEO will actually grade each and every post that you do. And this is what's going to help you get higher indexing in Google as you're producing more content and doing these types of things. So you've got readability scores. You do need to set a focus keyword for every post that you do. And then you have some styling options down here at the bottom. So if you wanted to do a custom background or a custom background color, if you wanted to add in a slideshow, you have that capability. If you want to put in a sidebar to each post, you can do that as well. Put in different headlines. You can create different group templates, and then even put a special icon on the menu for it. Now, Monarch sharing, that's your social media sharing options. You can change those up if you would like. And it will also give you statistics on each post. So if you go and revisit a post, or let's say you want to update it, or you want to change something with it, it will actually show you how many times here that it's been shared, and give you some analytics for that as well. The only other thing that I really want to focus on with this is whenever you're putting in a post of any kind, it really needs to have a featured image. So I'm going to show you really quickly how to set that. Now, there's several images already that we've uploaded into your media library, but of course you can upload your own custom images as well. If you wanted to do market statistics, for example, you could use this picture as your featured image. My advice to you is not to use the same featured image over and over and over again. You do want to change it up, but this is just an example. So all you have to do with this is click on the picture itself, give it a title, put a caption in there, put some, just kind of a what's your home worth, like a little recap right here, and then any type of description you would like to add, and simply click the select featured image button. So what that's going to do is it's going to put in your featured image for that post right there. So it's very, very easy to do. Now, if you wanted to upload an image, that's easy to do as well. All you have to do is go into that media library, click on the upload button, then simply select the file that you would like to upload as your featured image, and voila, you are all set. So you can also go in and edit your categories and tags direct from the post submenu. So you have your categories here. This is something that I had cleaned up the other day. I don't know why it came back, but this is how you would clean it up really quickly. A lot of this came in with demo content from the actual theme itself. So if you run into a scenario where you want to clean up your tags a little bit, you can do that here. Just simply select all, bulk action, delete. Very, very simple to do. So you can go in and select which categories that you think are relevant to staying on your site and which ones you would like to get rid of. Now, going a little bit more in depth with categories, if you want to add a new one, you can add a name. Slug. So what's going to happen here, your slug would be satxhomesbyles.com / whatever category you feel is relevant. You don't need to necessarily put a parent in there. You can leave that as none. And then if you want to do a quick little description of that category, you can do that here as well. So that's a very helpful thing for you to know. Media. As we get a little bit more into this, there's a couple things I want you to know about your media library. This is where you can bulk upload pictures, but it's also where you can put in videos and PDFs. So for example, if you wanted to create a downloadable, even if you wanted to upload a listing packet to your website or buyer paperwork or whatever it is you wanted to do, you can do that by simply putting that in your media library and then linking to that. So that your media library is a very multi-purpose functionality. So we'll go into pages. This is just a quick overview of each of the pages on your site. So you can go in and edit those pages. I put something in called Visual Composer, which is kind of more of a drag and drop editor. WordPress is a little bit funky in the sense that a lot of the programming that is done with short codes. So to make it easier for you to administer and for you to edit, I put this in here so that you can do that. And I did, just you'll kind of see the layout right here. So you've got, your images and things of that nature. So if you wanted to edit this text, all you have to do is click the edit button. And when you do that, it's going to pull up this, and you can edit any of the text or any of the buttons that you would like to do in there. This is what I'm kind of talking about as far as a short code. And this is just your testimonial carousel that we programmed in there. Your menu actually provides you with a lot of different short codes and options if you want to start playing with that. So for example, if you wanted to insert a short code, simply click on this little needle right here. And then it will tell you what different short code you can add. So if you wanted to add services, you could do, a headline, icons, and then a mouse over color. You can, add an additional service, anything like that. So you have all of these different options. You can add blog posts, you can add comments. This is where we put in the testimonial slider. So you've got testimonial slider and tabs. So that's just where I got the short code for that, and then just kind of looked at it and programmed it in to, something I think would be beneficial for you, just having worked with you in the past. So that's just kind of a quick overview of what the Visual Composer is, because I think it's just going to make your life a lot easier as opposed to having to learn all of these different codes and different ways of doing things. This gives you a more visual rendering of what you're looking at. So that's just kind of going over all the pages. Now, when I remove myself and give you attribution for all of the pages that you see, if you look here, it's going to show the author. It will show as you. And then your SEO, that's going to be your search engine optimization. So you can go through and just click a button in Yoast and it will grade the entire site. So you can go in and change it. Ideally you want to get yellows and greens. Anything that's, orange and red is something that needs a little bit of work. So that's just, but it'll tell you exactly what to do. And I'll show that to you in just a second. Now, when somebody comments on a blog post or even on a page, because we do have that functionality as well, it will show up in here. So it will give you an option to select all. You can approve it, you can mark it as spam, or you can put it in the trash. So, it's just something for you to be able to interact with your audience a little bit. And you really want to encourage commenting and contact from your site, because that's what is marketable on social as well. So that's a very positive thing. Now, if, for example, you want to add a specific type of client, I left all these examples in there for you so that you can look at them. If you want to say, I've worked with, this company or this company or this company, you can add that in there. And then there's a short code for that as well that you can put into different pages. Something, you might want to consider for your about page or even the home page, definitely beneficial there. Testimonial. As you get more letters of recommendation or different reviews from different folks out there, you can simply add a testimonial in here, and it's really easy to do. You just click add new, and it's almost the same as adding a blog post. Okay, so you're going to put in the title. What I tend to do is I'll put in the name of the person here, or some catchy thing, and then the testimonial here, the client name, and then I would recommend setting their featured images like their profile picture on social media, or if they're submitting that form on your testimonials page, you have the option of using that picture, which I think is definitely beneficial. Team. In the event that you ever become part of a team or start a team, I do have some forward-thinking stuff for you where you can add new team members, and even create an entire page for that. Portfolio, you can put in the different homes that you've sold, the different homes that you've helped people purchase, just kind of give people examples. So there's a lot with your site that you can build on, because I didn't want to leave you in the lurch and not have that option, as I know you want to add some specific things to your site and drill down a little bit more. I wanted to make sure you had that functionality. Maps, you can put in different Google Maps, different locations. I personally didn't think it was necessarily beneficial to do anything other than just the Google Map for the office, but if you want to add something, feel free. Now, objects. This is a real estate specific function with this theme. So when you add a new object, it's going to let you choose the estate type, the estate feature, and this is where you could showcase some of the work that you've done in the past. So what I would do with these is I would put the address here, and then I would use this to, put the description and maybe some pictures or something like that, that would be relevant. But as you can see over here, unlike the blog posting, you have different things that are specific to an estate. So you've got estate type. Is it for rent? Is it for sale? This is allowing you to feature different properties if you want. What are the features? What did they have? So all you have to do is just click off these little buttons. Boom, you're good to go. City, you can put in whatever city you want. Kind, is it an apartment? Is it a holiday rental? Is it a house? Is it an office? Is it a suite? And then just set the image if you'd like. Now down here, this is where you would manually input different things in as much as specificity to that property. So you've got your address, zip code, bedrooms, bathroom size, lot size, etc., etc. So you can put all these in there. Now, if you wanted to do something like, hey, for sale by owner people, you can advertise your house on my website for free. They can send you all of these details. You can input that, and then that's another lead for you as well, because you do have this feature on your site, which is not something that every agent has. So that's just, something kind of thinking out of the box with that. Mango buttons is so easy to use. And I put this in there because it's easy to use for you. Essentially, anytime you're putting it in a post and you want to say, have your call to action, call me now, email me now, whatever it is, you just click on these things and you just copy paste a URL, put in the whatever text you want, and it's super, super easy to use. It's a free plugin, and you can use it in your posts, which I'll show you right now. So what you're looking for with Mango buttons is, once this loads, just add a mango button. You can choose the style. You can choose the color. You can also specify the size, the corners of the buttons, and the text style as well. Choose the color right here. Put in your button text. And then whatever link you want to use. And then you just insert it into the post. See, that's simple. So now whenever somebody clicks on that button, they can go directly to whatever link you specified and get all of that done. Now we're going to go into a few different options as far as customizing themes, adding widgets, and a few other things that are relevant to your specific site. So if you click on the appearance button, what this is going to do is bring up this submenu that talks about themes, customization, widgets, menus, theme profiles, options, all slider bars. You can even upload custom fonts. Editor is to get direct into the code, so I would discourage touching that unless you're very familiar with that type of work. So what this shows here are the different themes that are available to you. Of course, you can always upload, change, and customize whatever it is that you have, but this just shows you right now that East End is available. These are the ones that you had. Genesis, the backbone, yeah, is okay, but I found something that worked a little bit better for your needs, so I went with that one. Now, if you go into the customize section, and this is what's a little bit funky about WordPress and some of these themes, so I just want to make you aware of it. What this is very basic, okay? So the bulk and the meat and potatoes of what is going to be the customization of your site is not going to be found here, so it's a little bit of a misnomer. But what this will allow you to do is change your site identity. Your site icon is actually set elsewhere, and it will allow you to change menus if you want. And it only really gives you the option to change the sidebar or the footer widgets that we've programmed in this section. There's other places you can do it a little bit more efficiently. But here you can see what we did was we created a static page for your home page, and then your post page is your blog, so that your blog doesn't show up on your home page because that just didn't have the right look and feel that you need in order to be able to attract and maintain customers on your site. So if we go into widgets, for example, this on the left-hand side is showing you all of the widgets that are available to you. So you have all of these different things, and as you can see here, I've got the real estate specific things in here. You can even put recent portfolio items. I put recent posts in there. You can do different real estate categories, a login form for people to log in to their account on your site to search homes or look at their listing. And then you have different contact forms, different texts, posts, comments, your Monarch follow, that's your social media follow, and then Bloom, that's your opt-in, which I'll go over in a little bit. You can even put maps in there. So there's a lot of things that you can do. Now, there isn't really a left sidebar programmed into your theme that I put in there, but you can opt in to put your sidebar on the left. What you see a lot of on the right-hand side, and just to give you an example, if we go into the buying page, this is just an iteration of what you're going to see there. So just kind of taking you back and forth through it. If you look here, you've got Monarch follow us. So this is what that looks like. And then when you've got your affordability calculator, that's what that looks like in the shape of a widget. Next is mortgage calculator right here. So as you go down, you're going to see each thing in the widget section. Now you can change these out, customize wording, really do pretty much whatever you want to do. And it's the same thing with the sidebar. So on the footer, if you go down here, you've got connect with us, and then I put in a custom menu, your featured listings, which you see right here, and then your recent posts, and then your home search box down here as well. So you can go in and customize those or change those out or play with those as much as you care to. Your menu is really just your navigation up here. So you have an option to put in 2 different menus with this particular theme. This is your menu structure for your header. You can create a new menu. You can manage different locations. You can put in pages. You can make posts. So if you wanted to do neighborhood information, you can make that a static page, or you can make that a blog post. That's completely up to you. But you can even put in, clients, testimonials, and have those things directly added to your menu. So really there's no end to the type of customization you can do, and you can drill down and get as specific as you want, with different estate features or counties you serve, or anything like that. So that's definitely a good thing. Theme profile. Your theme profile allows you to import the settings from one theme into another. Because your theme is custom, there was really no need to do this, but if you wanted to back it up, you could export that profile and then import it again if you ever have any major issues with it. Theme options. This is where you really get into the nitty-gritty of being able to customize this particular theme. So first, it's going to take you through your general settings. And what we did here is there's a couple things I do want to point out. You have a lightbox feature, so that if somebody clicks on a picture, you can actually program that into a lightbox so that it comes up just specifically as a picture, which is cool. Responsive design. This is what really helps me do the mobile optimization for it. There's a couple things that you will have to do with this, and one of those things was when I talked to you a little bit before about customizing your analytics counter by setting up your Google Analytics information. This is just where you would put that code, and it's really simple. Google walks you through it, and you just copy and paste that code into here. And then if you want to go a step further, you can even do that with the Webmaster Tools code, and that's a separate code. And again, Google walks you through it, so it's very, very easy to use. But this is really your control panel for the main part of your site. So as you can see here, you have your favicon. A favicon is just this little tiny picture up here. Otherwise, it defaults to WordPress, which just doesn't look professional. So I like to use a smaller version of your logo. And then I put the logo here, made sure that it was aligned appropriately. And then you have different short codes down here that you can customize how they look. The body of your site, this just goes over the background color and the font that's used throughout your site. So you can go in and change those as much as you care to. Your overhead section, that's where I had put in your phone number, your office number, your email address, etc. Your overhead section is this right up here. So what you see right here is some short codes for that. So, you've got the different icons that are in short codes and then the text next to that. You can change that up if you would like as well. Header. This just goes over all of your navigation and the settings for that. Your headline section, what shows up in your headline. So this is your headline right here. So that would be buying. And this is just customizing that. So if you wanted to change that out, you can. The main section, this is specific to your homepage. So I really kind of left everything pretty much uniform across the site because that just made a little bit more sense. But if you want to go in and change anything, you can. And then the footer section, I put in 3 columns. I didn't do a background image. I did a color. We showed it. Your second footer section is your copyright information. And then your contact page, I didn't use because we did the specifics with the huge IT forms. This would be your 404 page. This would be, if somebody went to a page on your site that didn't exist, or that, you moved or anything like that. It gives them an error message, and then you can also do a search, so that they can search for whatever it was they were seeking on your site and hopefully find it. Your sidebars, this is where you could go in and customize your sidebars. You don't necessarily need to because they're already put in here in your widgets section, so there wasn't a whole lot that we needed to do there. Social media, this is just where we added each account. Now, if you want to add additional accounts, you can do that. So let's say you wanted to add a Tumblr account. You just would say Tumblr, link to your profile, and it would populate in here, which would automatically update this up here. and it would also automatically update that. So you have all of those options available to you as well. If you wanted to put some additional fonts in there, you can do that. And then here are things that are specific to your real estate options as people would log in, create profiles, and do all of that fun stuff. Your all slider, if you wanted to create an image gallery, for example, you could do that with your all slider. So you could do a video, you can upload images specifically, and then just create a slideshow. So it's pretty cool. You know, there's really no end to what you can do with this. And I left a lot of things in here for you just so you could play with it and get familiar with it. So, you know, you didn't have to go through the entire process, but there's a lot you can do with this, and it's very, very cool. Font upload. This is where you would take a font file if you wanted to change something up and go to a very specific font. You can upload it there. Your font, I think, works pretty well, but you know, if you want to change that out, that's always an option. There's thousands of fonts available online. And then just to show you what this is where you would go in and edit code. So this is, you know, just something that we would do, and it's something that, you know, we can go in and edit code as well. But it's very, very, very discouraged to actually try to do it yourself if you don't know how, because it can really, and I say this from experience, cause you some problems. Plugins. When we think of plugins, we think of additional features that are added to your website. And your website basically comes very basic from WordPress, and then we go in and we handpick different plugins that are going to be beneficial for you and really meet the objectives that you've set forward with your website. So this is where you would see all of the different plugins that we have installed. So there's, you know, settings for each one. You can go in here and get to several of the settings, but you can also do that over here on the left-hand side menu. And I'm going to go through all of these one by one so that you understand them and understand what each one does. But this is just where you would go if let's say you found a new plugin or you know, there was some new feature that you wanted to your site, add to your site. This is where you would go to add it. So, you know, when you have your plugins, this lists all the ones that are here, and then you can add new. Now, this is something that is important to note too. Not all plugins work and play well together. So sometimes you'll run into a plugin that could very well crash your site. You have a couple different options here. You can search plugins by keyword, by author, or by tag. You can upload a custom plugin, which is what we did with some of the things that you have here. And then here's your list of featured plugins. You can go popular. So you've got, you know, all of these different popular things in here. Now, one thing I do want to draw your attention to is before you install a new plugin and or activate it, there is one thing that you really need to look for, and it's this checkbox right here that says compatible with your version of WordPress. If it is untested with your version of WordPress, it does run the risk of crashing your site. That said, that doesn't necessarily mean that even if something is compatible with your version of WordPress, it's going to work and play well with the other plugins on your site. So if you're installing plugins, my recommendation is to do it one at a time. See how that plugin interacts with the current functionality of your site. If it works well, continue on, and then you can add as many plugins as you like. But if, you know, it does crash something, you know exactly what caused it, so you can go in, deactivate that plugin and delete it, and then find another one that would be more compatible with what you have. So you have a bunch of different things here that you can utilize, and there's just a ton of different options in there as well. Users. Okay, users. Yay! We're getting to some of the fun stuff now. So This allows you to see different users and the posts that they've made on your site. When someone registers for your site, they are automatically defaulted to subscriber. Just since publishing it last night, we've already had somebody go in and register. So that's a cool thing for you, because this is somebody who, anytime your blog gets updated, will get an email that redirects them back to your website. And it does that for you automatically. You don't have to necessarily do anything with it. You can go in and change up your profile. This was my profile. It's just very basic because I only use it as I'm building the site and then I remove it. But it's pretty simple. So if you wanted to add somebody to be an admin on your WordPress site, it's very simple to do that. You just click add new, give them a username, put in their email, their name, website, and then it generates a password for them. You select their role. With Displit, and this is something that is kind of cool. You can put in your preferred lenders and give them a role on Displits, and then real estate search user. You can put in different agents, and then people can also just be a contributor where they could say write to your blog or put content on your blog. An author, which is pretty much the same thing. Editor allows people to edit features on your site, so be very careful about who you grant that permission to. And then administrator is essentially the God user, so you really want to be careful about who has that privilege on your site. But you can update your profile, which I recommend you do because this is going to follow you around, to have your first name, last name, what you want your name displayed as, your email address, your website, and then your social media links for Google+, Twitter, Facebook, phone number, all of that, and then even put a short bio in there. So that's important for you to know. And you would want to go in to your own profile that's already been created for you and update that to be reflective of the different information that is available. Now we're going to go into tools. Tools is not something that you're going to need to use on a regular basis, even though you think it might be. So what this is this would allow some people, this allows you to put different things on your WordPress site as you're browsing the net. So when you are in Chrome, for example, you can install Press This, and then you can share it to WordPress based on content that you find interesting. Just another quick, cool feature, drag and drop option. Import and export. This is specific only to different content and themes that are available for your site, where you can import and export things. This is very, very, very rare that you would ever need to use it, so I'm not going to really go into this. That's something that you can actually look up on Sidekick if you want to. Monarch settings. This is where your social media settings are found. And this is a really, really cool interface. So you get to choose where you want your social media links displayed, where you want the option to share across the internet for your clients is accessible. So what I did was I enabled sidebar and inline. And what that does is sidebar is only going to show up on your blog post page. Inline is this right here. So I put it above and below content, right? So it's going to be at the top and the bottom of each page. Now, if we get, kind of fun with it and we say, hey, I want to look at, a blog. The reason that I did not put the social share on the sidebar for static pages is it just doesn't work quite as well. But I did put it on every single blog. So every single blog you post, people have an option to share it over here and also here. I don't want to go too overboard with it, but you can change it as well. If you want to do a pop-up, if you want to have something, kind of fly in, or if you want to put it on media, like for example, on a picture or on a video that you're going to upload, you have that capability. So if you go networks, these are the networks that I put in just kind of as default, but you can add as many as you want. So you have all of these different options if you want to add any of those. And then this just goes in a little bit more specific as far as, what things will look like on your sidebar, where you want these things to be, where you would want things to be on your inline. If you selected pop-ups, you can do that here. You know, and it just kind of gives you some different options to add to your website as you see fit or as you might want to do. So that's just a quick overview of that. Okay, as you click on networks, this is going to pull up exactly where people would go to subscribe to you or follow you on any of these 4 networks. So as you can see here, you've got the name, and then I put in each link that is specific to your profile, and then an approximate following count. But you can always keep this updated if you put in the API. Now this does take a little bit of extra effort, or you can just leave these or put them in manually, however you want to do it. This is how you would display the widget. So it's going to show you, you know, centered, what does it look like? You know, do you want to hide it on mobile devices, anything like that? And what we're talking about with that is this widget that we put in your sidebar. Right here. So that's where you would customize this widget if you wanted to change anything. And then you also have the option of putting in a short code anywhere on your site that you would like. It will auto-generate for you. So you just select a few options up here and then generate the short code, and it gives you the exact short code right here. So if you wanted to put that somewhere else on your site or utilize that elsewhere on your site or in an individual post, you have that option too. Your general settings are here, and this is where you would put in the API. So reset WordPress loops, your app ID and your app secret. This is really, it sounds intimidating, but it really isn't. All you have to do is hit authorize, and it literally walks you through it, and you just copy paste whatever it says on your Facebook ID as far as the app ID or app secret. I can do this for you too, but just wanted to give you that option if you wanted to do that. Unfortunately, it doesn't have an API to auto update Twitter or Google Plus or LinkedIn, so those do have to be done manually. But you know, it's really up to you on how you want to do it. I don't personally foresee this needing to change a whole lot on a regular basis, so I would just say check up on it once a month or so, and then update it if you want to. Now we're going to get into the real estate stuff. Okay, this is where you would access your Display IDX Lead Manager. So really, when anybody comes on your site and they fill out that home search form, they become a lead and they're imported into here. You'll also receive an email with that lead information as well. But this is where you would find those users, and then you can assign users to different people and to a role. So if you want to assign them to a lender, the lender also has the opportunity to go in, log on your website, because you'll grant them permissions to do that, and you have an interface where everybody can communicate, which is really, really cool. So this allows you to search your different leads, and then if you want to, and this is what I would recommend doing, import your current database in a CSV file in Excel, and then send an email to all of these people, because this is a really great way for you to keep in touch. But it also imports everybody so that when your blog updates, guess what? They get a copy of that blog. So that's a cool thing too, because it's keeping them coming back and it's keeping them engaged. Quick start. This will allow you to create pages. Now, I know that one of the things that you really have communicated to me in the past, and one of the things I know you've been passionate about, is creating specific pages based on zip codes, subdivisions, school districts, school names. Well, with the current interface you have, that's very difficult to do. So with Displits, one of the reasons I chose this was specifically so you could create these different pages. So if you wanted to do subdivisions, you simply click subdivisions, put in the criteria for that subdivision, and then where you would want to add it to the menu. So you can add as many subdivision pages as you want. You can add zip code pages. You can add school districts. You can add pretty much whatever you want. So I wanted to make sure you had that functionality to where you could really go in and customize your website, and it wouldn't be incredibly cumbersome for you to do that. So I hope that that makes it an easier solution. Search results. This just displays what people will see in their search results. So if you want to add a field to what they'll see, you can do that. Or they can go into advanced You can do the same thing here. You can add a field, you can add a column, whatever it is you want them to see. Now your quick search, this is where you find your short code for your quick search. So you've got all of these different things here, but you can always add a field to your quick search. And this will update, this is the cool thing, this will update all the forums continuously across your website. So you don't have to go in and update each form individually. You just have to update this, and everywhere that I have already programmed in your quick search ID will be automatically updated. You can even add your own quick search if you want and create a completely custom form above and beyond what's already been done. So you have a lot of different options here and a lot of different things that you can play with, which is cool. And I think that you'll enjoy some of that. Now, when you go into the IDX RATS settings, I didn't need to do anything really specific with this because we're using the free version. However, if you wanted to upgrade your membership to Displits, you would just go to their site, you register for an account with them, and then we just plug in the API key for the app and for IDX. And then that would be a little bit more specific to you and give you, really the benefit to you is it allows you to go a little bit more in depth as far as listings from your office or your own personal listings or anything like that. So this is just something you can do. And then anything else you want to add as far as legal disclaimers or anything like that, you can do down here. So I wanted to make sure you had that information as well. And then email. So here's another cool thing about Displits. It's going to show you like what you have access to without putting in the API and without upgrading your membership, just using the free version. But there are certain things on here that you would have to update or upgrade in order to be able to access. Okay. So your send from, this is all for your lead generation. You can assign duty agents. So if you want to assign yourself as a duty agent or a listing agent, here's your lenders. So you can create new lenders just by clicking this link, but you do have to have the API key for that. Number of properties, property views to add to zip, price variance. It just gives you, a little bit of a variance because sometimes people don't always, start off looking for the home that they eventually buy. And then you can actually send, and this is automated as well with an upgrade, daily email of recent user activity. So you can see what people are doing on your site every single day in a really cool report. Now you can put in an email. So, when somebody goes in and they register, when they do a home search or anything like that, this is where you would put in your own little personalized message. And this is where you would end off your personalized message. What I would say is like here, this is kind of a little bit of programming code. So this would say thanks, Les Mauck, and then put your URL there. And then this sends, new user registration emails. It does everything for you completely 100% automatic. It tells you which properties were saved, which searches were saved. It gives you, if somebody wants to email something to a friend, they can, get those emails too. All of which goes back in to your leads database that's already built into your site. So that's good to know too. And then your display for multiple listings. You can change how these are displayed, as much as you want, and then how many listings people see per page. There are some restrictions though. If you don't opt in to upgrade, it's difficult to see subdivision, MLS number, emphasize the MLS number. And this is kind of what I was saying as far as recommending purchasing the upgrade with Displits because it does give you a lot more, but it really just is depending on, what it is that you want to accomplish. But I think that, you've got your walk score widget ID, you've got, just tons of different things that you can use with this, your search results, and then you can do allow site-wide save searches. So when somebody's saving a search on your page. So again, this has really as much functionality as what you're getting with the Remax site, but you own all the leads. You don't have to worry about, anything like that. And you have complete control over your database. So I think that that's a positive thing as well. Okay, this is your login registration settings page. I put in a soft prompt because, you know, you don't want to be too high pressure. But this is, you know, if they view one property, they're required to register, which then puts them in your leads database. So you could do include phone number or require if you want. And then it tells them why it's beneficial to register. And then your disclaimer as well. And then you can even do social login. So if you wanted to allow somebody to log in, say via Facebook or Google or whatever, all you have to do with that is click the help button and it walks you through a complete setup for how you do that. So it's very simple for you to be able to do that as well. So there's a lot of functionality to this. There's SEO as well. This is all pre-programmed in, so you don't need to worry about it. And then advanced. So if you wanted to include property filters for people, that is something that you would have to upgrade. And then I know you were looking at Zapier at one point, so you can do a webhook URL to automate that process for yourself. And then here's your mobile option. This really just allows you to say, okay, I'm going to enable search on mobile. And then site-wide showing requests, very, very simple. And it even opts in to show listings nearer to wherever that person's mobile device is. So if they're out driving around looking for something, they can pull that up just by going to your site. So there's a lot of features with this that I'm excited about because it enables you to have so much to market back to for any end user on your site because of all the features, functionalities, and things that, you know, they're used to getting elsewhere, but that they might not be getting, you know, on individual agent sites. So that's something just to consider with that. So that was one thing that I chose this particular piece of software for you because I really do see quite a bit of benefit that you can utilize with that. Now, Visual Composer. You don't really need to do anything with this because I already have it set up. But you can do different design options, short codes, grids, things like that. But when you go into any particular page or post or whatever, you have that Visual Composer menu for you where you can drag and drop. And that just makes it easier for you to update pages and just make them look the way that you want them to look. So that being said, we're going to look at settings really quick. Okay, so this is important to note as well. This is just your site title, your tagline, your website address, your email. I've made it so that anybody can register, but that their default role when they do is as a subscriber. So they don't have any administration privileges. All they can do is read what's on your site or leave a comment. They can't change anything. So I didn't want, you know, them to have that option, but they can log in and see different things based on whether they're logged in or not. You've got your date format, your time format, when your week starts, site language. Okay, so here's your writing. This is where you could change your default post category and default post format. You don't really need to mess with that too much because everything you're going to be doing will be pretty standard, but just so you know that it's there and what it does. This allows you to customize under the reading settings what people will see when they're reading. So on your blog page, we have it set to 10 posts, syndication, the most 10 items. Each article in a feed, they see the full text. You know, of course, we don't want to discourage search engines from indexing your site, so we didn't click that. Discussion is going to have to do with any comments that are left on your site, which, you know, no biggie. That's a good thing. So this is really just allowing you to choose what you want to be able to have people comment on. Obviously, you want people to be able to comment pretty much any time that they want, but you can go in and edit comments at any time, just like you could edit a blog post or a page or anything like that. So it's nothing to get too concerned about, but you can just kind of look into see, okay, is there anything I want to change on that? I left most of your options pretty standard. Your media settings. This is where you can go in and actually customize what the image sizes are site-wide. So that's kind of a cool option. Your permalinks, this is really just for the benefit of SEO. Permalinks, you really want to be your website address, just like this, and then whatever the page name is or the post name. So that's what I have it set to there. And this is where you can go in and get some settings for your analytics counter. And this is, again, just another way to get into the same interface that I showed you up here. And then also configure some options in Sidekick. So you can get additional things with Sidekick if you want to upgrade your membership. I don't necessarily think that that's a must-have for you right now. I think it's just really getting you familiar with everything. So I think the basic version for you right this second will work just fine. Now let's go into your online scheduling application. This is a paid plugin that I put in for you. It's called Bookly. And what this allows you to do is you have your calendar view right here. But when you go in, you can set appointments, staff member services, customers, email notifications. So just to show you kind of how this works with services, so you add a service, listing appointment, and then you want to say it's about an hour. And if you want to add some padding before and after for your calendar, you can do that. And then you can select all staff or category, and then just put some basic information about the listing appointment there. And boom, there you go. So somebody can go in when they want to schedule something online. They can select a listing appointment, say when they're available, what days they're available, the times that they're available, and then what that's going to do is match that against your calendar and then go from there. So if there is no time slot that's available, then that's going to be a no-go for their appointment. Okay, just to go over a few settings in Bookly, which is your appointment booking software. This shows the available time slots for the week, and this is based upon your schedule. Now, there's a couple things that I do have to point out with this. This is really where you would go to schedule an appointment. Now, it's not going to work properly until we sync this with Google Calendar, but just so you see how it works. So what you have here, this will show you a list of appointments for any time period that you're looking at. You're the default employee. Staff members, this is where you're going to go to connect to your Google Calendar. So you have you right here, and I filled out all of this information for you. So what you're going to do is go to staff members and then go to settings. And this is going to help you walk you step by step on syncing your Google Calendar so that you will have visibility to potential clients when they want to schedule with you, and it will sync both ways to your Google Calendar so that people know when you're available, and so on and so forth. So you can change what services you provide in the services menu. I went ahead and put in a schedule for you, but you can change this, of course, to your start time and end time each day. And then you can also add days off. So if you're planning a vacation or something like that, you can add those manually in here, or it will sync automatically with your Google Calendar if you're putting your Google Calendar in there. Under services, what you're going to see is all of the services you provide. So over here is your category, and this is real estate. And then you can customize whatever you want to do with your services here. So for example, listing appointment, it's visible to public. It doesn't cost anything. The duration is 1 hour, and if you want to add some padding time before or after, for example, to account for travel time, you can do that here. And then whatever category it's going to be in and whoever provides that service. Down here, what I would recommend doing is just putting in a quick little blurb about what people can expect to receive from you with your listing appointment. Home buying consultation is the same thing. Public visibility, duration, I put default an hour, but you can change that if you want. Padding time if you want to add that. category provider, and then again, just a quick little blurb as far as info and what people can expect when they're doing a home buying consultation with you. The next field that we can look at is customers. What this is going to give you is just a list of customers, and it's going to tell you how many times they have scheduled an appointment, their last appointment, their total appointment, any payments that have been made if you want to charge a retainer or something like that later on down the line. Email notifications. This is just allowing you to customize the emails that automatically go out when someone schedules an appointment with you or cancels an appointment with you. So I have it set to send pending appointments, approved appointments, notification to you with approved appointments, so that you have, kind of a backup in the event that Google Calendar isn't working appropriately. And you have all of these different things that are already set up for you. So you've got notifications about canceled appointments. You can send people information about their WordPress login details for their own account so that they can look at their appointments that they've set up. You can also do text notifications. This is an extra fee. I don't necessarily think that you need it, but it is an option that's there. If you ever take payments for anything online, you can set that up here as well. And then here is where you would set up your appearance settings for this particular plugin. And this is just your general appearance settings. So the way that you navigate through this is, here's your services. If you want to change any verbiage on here, you can, just by going into each individual box. Feel free to change it and play with it a little bit, and then show your times available, what's not available. This is just a quick little example. Details. This is the confirmation details page that a customer is taken to after they have booked an appointment with you. And then this is just letting people know that their booking is complete. So if you want to change up the wording here, you're welcome to do that. And then if you want to just put in some specific things here, like a booking number, service date, name, time, whatever, just as a confirmation, you can do that simply by clicking on those fields. If there are custom fields that you'd like to add to your form, I've already set one up for you so that you can add that pretty easily. And just a text area. So you can go here and then it will be listed to each service page. So any kind of extra notes, anything that somebody might want to add, you can do that as well. You can also add text fields, content, a drop-down menu, and even CAPTCHA if you want to avoid robots or bots going in and clicking on your stuff. Coupons, if you ever want to use coupons of any kind for somebody, home cleaning services, free moving, whatever it is you want to do, you can add whatever coupon in here to incentivize people to schedule with you online. And then your overall settings page is here, and it's going to allow you to set the time slot length, default appointment status. All of this is pretty much already set up for you. I've taken care of company. The only thing that you need to do is business hours, and then set up your Google Calendar, which again, it walks you through this whole thing so that you can do it. And then we want to enable the two-way sync. And then there you go. So that's going to make your life a lot easier with having the capability of easing clients into the scheduling process by offering that online. Next thing I'm going to show you quickly is your Yoast SEO. This is what we kind of talked about before on each individual page or post, what you have. So right now you have no major problems. This goes into your general settings. So what you're going to want to do here is go into Yoast and then open the configuration wizard. This will walk you through the entire setup for your site. So that's a really good thing for you to know. And then we're going to say person. And this is putting in some metadata for your site. So that's a pretty simple add right there. You always have your help center that you can reference when you're working on SEO. SEO, I will not lie, is a very cumbersome, lengthy process. So it's not something that we offer as part of our packages, but we do offer the ability for you to get at least set up. and headed in the right direction. So you have pretty much everything done and set up. All you have to do is configure, and then that pretty much takes care of everything else. So you've got all of these basics in here. You just have to go through the configuration wizard, and that will get you set up to do that. The next thing I want to walk you through is your RSS aggregator. What this is doing is pulling in blogs from other feeds. And what I did here was I pulled in blogs from the Remax feed. I have it set up to go every day, once a day, and import one item. So you can view the items that have been imported here by simply clicking on View Items. And then if you want to add this into your actual blog, you can do that by importing the different feeds. So you can import different things, and this will import different sources. And then you can also do import settings so that you can import photos as well. But that's just something that you can work on there. You can put different feed items. So you can select, for example, Trulia, Zillow, blogs, whatever it is you want, but I figured I'd start you off with just the Remax blog. And then you have all of your settings for this particular plugin right here in the settings page. And you can choose whatever it is that you want to have added to that page. So you have a bunch of different options to import different blogs from different places in the event that you don't have time to do the blogs yourself, but it does take a little bit of manual effort on your part to go in and actually make sure that those get posted to your blog as well. But we do have you set up for success with that. The next one that I am going to walk you through is incredibly important. And there will be some work that we can do to get you completely set up once this is configured, but unfortunately I can't configure it without a few things on your end. So what this is going to be your opt-in for email addresses. So what you're going to do here is you're just going to create new opt-in. What I would suggest creating is a pop-up and an inline. You can do each one of these individually. I would also suggest creating a widget. So let's just, for the sake of argument, do pop-up, and I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do. So you have your opt-in name. I would just title it pop-up. Here's where you come in. You have to pick one of these. Now, I recommend MailChimp because it's free. It didn't integrate with the other thing that you had given me before, and I noticed that account was no longer active. So there wasn't a whole lot else that I could do in order to do this. So what we would need is your MailChimp setup account information, and we can actually create an opt-in that will import into that. And there's a few other things that I can show you with that as well. So there's your homework with that. Huge IT forms. This was something I spoke a little bit about before. And this is just showing you the different forms that have been built for your site. Now, again, the cool thing is you don't have to edit each form on each page. Once you edit a form, it goes across the board to each one of your forms throughout the site. So, you know, if you had your subscribe form on, let's say, 5 or 6 pages, it's no biggie if you had to edit it, because you could just go into here as the subscribe form, and you've got, you know, your name, your email, and then the option to subscribe. So we've done this across the board with pretty much everything. You've got your delivery form, your contact us, reservation, testimonials, home buying consultation, and what's your home worth. So you have all of these options as well. Couple things I do want to point out. This is the free version, so if you want additional options, it is something that you have to pay for through the provider of the plugin. But it's really up to you. Now, do I personally think you need it? I really don't, not right this second. So I think you'll be all right with that. So your form settings, this is where your forms go. And then this is sending to the administrator and also to the user, just to confirm every single form submission. And then as well, you can check your form submissions here in all submissions, so that In the event that you don't get an email, you can always go in and get a copy of whatever it was someone submitted through the submissions button. Now, the cool thing about this is you can even manage a newsletter direct from this site, so you don't have to go to a whole bunch of different venues in order to really, connect with your customers. So, you can do all forms that someone has submitted to. It'll give you automatically all the emails that are here, and then what's going to happen is it'll send them out 50 at a time, and then go 1 minute in between each 50, or you can set it to do something different. You could do 2 hour, 2 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, whatever it is you want. And then you put your email subject here, and then you can write a quick message right here and just send everything direct through WordPress. So that makes your life a little bit easier as well. Next thing we're going to talk about is your Google Maps. Again, this is the free version of this, but it's still very, very, very useful and relevant for your particular site. All we did here was build a map that goes to your office. Again, if you needed something a little bit more, I would tell you that you do, but I don't think that that's necessary. I think what you have works just fine. So I don't necessarily think, you're not in multiple locations, you're not doing all this other crazy stuff. So the one Google map on the free version is completely fine. There's really nothing that you have to do with this. You don't have to edit it. You don't have to change it unless your office address changes. So really with this one, not a whole lot to talk about. Now, this one is something that I also wanted to bring your attention to. All of those cool tools that I was showing you earlier that you can do automated posts to show statistics and things like that, you have thanks to this particular plugin. So some things here, these are the short codes. So if you wanted to add these to different pages on your WordPress site, you can do that. And it's just kind of a cool little option. So this is where I got your mortgage calculator, your affordability, your closing costs. You can even put in live mortgage rates, the statistical graphs that I was showing you, schools, local businesses, Google Maps, and a whole lot more. So there's a lot you can do with this. And you can go in and change this up based on the information that changes in the real estate market. You can change the, whatever the interest rate is, homeowners insurance rate. You can plug in whatever numbers are relevant for you so that you're giving people the best possible information. And then you can customize this as well with your mortgage rates. And then this is something I know you probably already have. Go into Zillow, and by clicking this link, you'll get your Get Rate Summary API so that you can have those mortgage rates displayed on your site, which is a very, very cool thing to have. And then if you wanted to use Yelp, which I also highly recommend, you just have to register and then follow these instructions to plug in the key, the secret, the token, and the token secret. And it does walk you through it step by step. And it's something that you can add to your site, which is a very, very cool feature. Walk score, this shows how close is a house to a local supermarket or, something like that. So it's going to give people a walk score. How easy is it to walk and get somewhere from where I live? So all you have to do to get this is you just register and then put in your ID here. Google Maps, this is just another real estate one. You don't need to mess with this one, by the way, necessarily, unless you want to display local businesses on your site. There's some marketing benefits to that. So all you have to do here is follow these instructions and then get your Yelp API, which you've already registered for a little bit earlier, and then do main marker, and you can display local businesses on your site. That's something you can do now, it's something you can do later, but it's just a feature that's been built in so that your site can grow with you. Neighborhood profile options. This is a cool thing too. You can do all kinds of nifty little things with your neighborhood profile. You can do Trulia stats, Alto stats, financial, walk scores, all kinds of really cool things that you can build into a page or build into a blog. So you've got a ton of different things here as well. The last couple things I'm going to go over with you is WP Clone. This is what I would recommend you use to back up your site. And I would recommend backing up your site every 30 days or so. So all you're going to do is just click this little button here and then create backup. And it's going to give you a backup that has your database. It has, you know, all of your clients, customers, whatever. It'll back it up for you, so that you're not going to have to worry about losing data in the event that things crash. Now, your WP Fast Cache. This is what is going to keep your site running a little faster. We haven't cached anything yet because your site is brand new. So what I would recommend you do is just probably in about a month or so, cache 25 recent pages and 25 recent posts. And then that way you have all those things ready to go and set up. That pretty much sums everything up for the entire site. Obviously, there's a couple little things that need to be tweaked and done. You have a little bit of homework to do. And of course, I'm here to help however I can. I really hope you enjoy your new site and all its functionality. And with that said, that would be the end of your training. Have a great day.